Guys, if y'all saw it, man, Molly Qerim released a statement that she was no longer going to be on First Take. Everybody, her contract was up at the end of the year. But man, y'all know the sad part is Molly Qerim, nobody's going to miss her. Molly Qerim thought she became the show. And while Molly Qerim is a beautiful girl, I think she doesn't realize that the more beautiful she is, a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I think this is way overdue. And let me tell y'all when they should have got rid of Molly Qerim. They should have got rid of Molly Qerim when she and Jalen Rose were done. Because the only reason she had credibility at ESPN because she was rocking with Jalen Rose. Stephen A. kept her after Jalen Rose got let go from ESPN, and that was the mistake. And I don't hear nobody else saying this take. Without Jalen Rose, nobody cares about Molly Qerim. He gave her that street cred, and then she just started going crazy with her takes and interruptions. Tried to bring on that social justice stuff to First Take. Stephen A. wasn't having it. So Molly Qerim value started dropping the moment Jalen Rose was no longer at ESPN. She's an attractive woman. But at the end of the day, the more attractive you are, and I don't want to hear from you, now you just become annoying more than becoming a benefit to the show. And I think Stephen A. carried her as much as he could. But then I got to tell y'all what else really happened that nobody's talking about. Stephen A.'s contract is making it so nobody can get paid. But if I'm next to Stephen A., I want some money too. But y'all know Stephen A. is just like, now, in order for Stephen A. to get his $100 million, everybody else got to take scraps. Because at the end of the day, Molly Qerim, what is she going to do? Go to another channel or start a YouTube channel? Do y'all realize Stephen A., since he got that $100 million deal, can't nobody stay on that show outside of Mad Dog Russo? Right? At the end of the day, Shannon Sharp gone. They bought Cam Newton back. But Stephen A. is going to make sure that Stephen A. is the star of the show. So if you're next to Stephen A., just make sure you're not banking on First Take. Because Stephen A. is watching all these people fall off and ain't stopping it. Why? Because in order to protect his $100 million, in order to protect his $100 million, Stephen A. got to make sure nobody else climbs the ladder. I ain't mad at him. It's a different take than me. He said, my job is to get up and make my bosses money, and then I get some of it. So if you want to be on First Take, and I would encourage everybody, if you want to go on First Take, don't go on First Take because you're going to make money. Because Stephen A. is going to make money for his bosses, and then the bosses give him some. He didn't say he was going to make sure everybody around him got some. Be careful when you hear people say that, because he letting you know what it is. Oh, she tried to negotiate, but she overplayed her hand. Just because you pretty don't mean you popular. Just because you pretty don't mean you profitable. And guess what? Ain't nobody watching First Take for Molly, because Molly gonna have to learn just like the rest of us. When you go on YouTube and when you start your podcast, you gonna see how many people actually rock with you. Stephen A. can do that for himself, and he is doing it for himself. His platforms are growing. He's everywhere. Molly didn't grow with him. They just wanted the gravy and the table, scraps, hoping that being next to Stephen A. is just as valuable as being Stephen A. She wanted to debate Stephen A. instead of being like Stephen A. And that's why she's no longer at First Take, guys. But if you're trying to grow and trying to make money, do not go to First Take. Do not link up with Stephen A. Smith, because he's told you what his goal is. His bosses is his goal, and he wants some of that money. So unless you think like that, don't go link up with Stephen A. Smith, because it's not going to last. And when something comes up, he's proven not to back you up with the bosses, because these bosses are not making a move without consulting with Stephen A. first. Why? Because Stephen A. is who gives the bosses credibility. People communicate to Stephen A. Stephen A. takes it to the bosses. The bosses communicate with Stephen A. Stephen A. brings it back to the people. So Stephen A. is the conduit at ESPN. And that's why Molly Qerim is not on First Take, because Stephen A. didn't want him there. Michael Irvin is not on First Take. Stephen A. didn't want him there. Shannon Sharp is not on First Take. Stephen A. didn't want him there. Why? Because anything that comes up controversial, Stephen A.'s got to protect that $100 million before he protects you. And I ain't mad at it.